Hi everyone. Welcome to this session. 10x your mobile app testing at scale, a migration roadmap by BrowserStack. I hope this webinar is quite insightful and you have some key learnings to take away to improve your testing processes and scale up your testing eventually. Nasreen, next slide. So I'll give a quick introduction of our panel today. I am Rohan and I'm a product marketer. I primarily handle the automation suite of products, and I help BrowserStack to communicate its value using value messaging, landing pages, sales assets, and other things. I have with me Rishabh and Titus. Rishabh is a senior customer engineer, and he has helped numerous Fortune 500 companies in scaling up their testing and achieving their testing needs. I'll let Rishabh introduce himself.
Thanks, Rohan. Hey everyone, I'm Rishabh Shroff and I'm part of the customer engineering team at BrowserStack. I essentially work with customers to help them get integrated into our product and make sure that they're able to achieve what they need in terms of testing.
Great. Titus is a manager in the strategic partnerships team, and he has been really instrumental in carving out some of the open source partnerships in the testing landscape. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello everyone, I'm Titus and I lead the strategic partnership here at BrowserStack. I work with the enterprise platform and open source project to make meaningful integrations and partnership. Excited to guide you through some of the key part of our sessions today. Over to you, Rohan.
Yeah. Thanks, Titus. Let's move ahead. So why this webinar? I think we all know the customer expectations are rising, but do our testing processes, do our testing infrastructure, are they able to keep up that pace? Are we able to release faster to meet those customer demands? We'll find out some of these answers in this webinar. As we all know, different businesses have their own testing methodologies. It could be manual testing, or the focus could be on the automation testing, or there could be a mixed approach. Some of them have their own in-house device farms. Others, they rely on cloud testing providers like App Center, right? But in our customer conversations also, we tend to understand some of the challenges that they are facing. And there are numerous such roadblocks and challenges that they face. We'll try to understand some of those challenges in this webinar and see how BrowserStack is actually solving those. We'll also touch base upon the migration roadmap in case you are interested to move to BrowserStack. Also, we'll also talk about some of the key strategic partnerships that we have forged recently with the open source communities and enterprises that has helped us actually innovate some of the key features for our products. With that, I'll quickly go over the housekeeping items. So today's session will run for 60 minutes. All participants will be muted to enable speakers to engage without any interruptions. There will be a dedicated Q&A towards the end of the session, but you just feel free to use the Zoom Q&A window to send in your questions throughout the session. The session is getting recorded and the recordings will be made available to all the attendees. With this, without further ado, I'll hand it over to Titus, who will quickly go over the agenda of the session.
Thanks, Rohan. Let's take a look at our agenda for today's session. We'll be covering the challenges with current testing processes, demonstrating manual and automation testing for apps with a demo of AppLive and App Automate products. We'll also discuss why you should transition to BrowserStack, exploring a potential migration strategy. We also have some bonus insights into a couple of our products. And finally, we'll have a Q&A session. Next time. Okay. So now let's dive into some of the challenges teams faces when the testing processes. The challenges can be broadly categorized into infrastructure testing and testing workflow. With infrastructure challenges, team might face challenges like high financial investment to set up and maintain in-house threat, poor device coverage and limited parallelization option, data leak and insecure testing environment, deprecation of testing infrastructure and services. Speaking of which, Microsoft has announced the retirement of Visual App Center by 2025. This means they will be retiring all the support and services for their mobile apps testing solution. As a part of this announcement, Microsoft has also recommended BrowserStack as its trusted partner for mobile and app testing going forward. Moving to testing workflow challenges, we also have high latency test execution, finding the right framework for test execution, and limited debugging capabilities. Next. So one of our core product has been AppLive. It's the mobile app testing solution for BrowserStack that lets you run manual tests on our leading public cloud infrastructure. Let me walk you through some of the key features that AppLive stands on. First and foremost, the AppLive is designed with the simplicity in mind. It's a cloud-based interactive platform to manually test mobile application. This means you can test your apps without the hassle of maintaining your own device lab. Flexibility is a key advantage. AppLive supports both Android and iOS or hybrid application. This broad support ensures you can test your app across various platforms and devices. We understand the importance of detailed insights. With AppLive, you can also access real-time logs or test using native device features. This level of detail helps you catch and diagnose issues quickly and efficiently. We also, the product also comes with out of the box without any setup, which means that you can start testing it immediately. The platform integrates with your existing workflow with project management tools like Jira, Trello, and GitHub as well. Let's get to the demo. Over to you, Ish.
All right, so I'll start sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
All right, so we'll be covering AppLive first. So as you can see, we support huge range of devices as part of AppLive, and these are all real devices. So you can choose from any device of your choice that you want to test on, and you can start testing on that device. We also support multiple options to upload your IPA or APK or AAB files onto our platform. We integrate with Firebase, App Center. We also integrate with TestFlight, and we have options to install from Play Store and App Store directly as well if at all you're testing a production application. Alternatively, if you want to upload your own IPA, APK, or AAB files, you can go ahead and upload it right from your or provide a public URL for the same. As part of this demo, I have an application over here, which is a sample application. So what I'm going to do is I will choose a device from right hand side. I have different brands, as you can see. Let's select Pixel 6 on Android 12. Now, as you can see, the device is being allocated to me from the data center. We always make sure that the device is in its pristine form, which means that any data that a previous user might have entered into the device is always cleaned up, which makes sure that even your data, when you complete the session or you stop the session, is cleaned and the device is always in its pristine form when provided to the next user. Now, there are a lot of different features that we have to offer as part of AppLive. There are a couple of features that would be really helpful in terms of testing, such as local testing. So, for example, you have a website that is not available to public. It is an internal website that is only accessible via an IP address, or it is a website hosted on a local host or internal host name, right? So such websites can be accessed via our feature, which is called as local testing. Then we have a couple of other features as well. You can essentially install different applications if you have to test dependency of different applications. You can test that. You can capture screenshots. You can kill or uninstall application. You can rotate the device. We have options to change the location of the device as well. So you can change the location of the device in two different formats. One is a GPS-based location, one is an IP-based location. So you can either specify the GPS coordinates or you can specify the location over here, and we will make sure the traffic that is routed to your backend is via an IP from the region that is selected over here. You have option to throttle the network as well, and you can change the language of the device to do testing that is based on different locales. We also have options to basically inspect the UI of the device. So we have an inspector that is built in. However, we also have an integration with APM inspector. So what you can do is you can actually launch an APM inspector within your browser, and you can inspect different elements. So if you are working on building uh, automation test suite, or you're writing your automation test cases and you want to take a look at different locators, so in that case, you can utilize our APM inspector feature, and you can actually look at the source of the device and you know essentially find the locators for your automation test cases. We also have support for performance testing. So you can actually uh, look at the vitals of your device, such as the memory utilization, CPU utilization, what are the number of frames utilized per second, slow frames, and all of those features are available. Couple of more features that would enable you to uh, test certain advanced use cases, such as, for example, you have use case for camera. So in such cases, you can actually inject image. So let me choose a different application, which is this one, which essentially has a camera feature built in. So what I'll do is I'll just launch another session on iPhone 12. Now, uh, in this case, as you can see over here, there is an option called as files and media. So of course you can upload files to the device and download files on the device, but there is an option that says photos. So what I can do is I can actually inject an image before onto the BrowserStack platform. So I can upload an image from my machine, for example, this QR code, right? I will click on inject this asset. Once the injection completes, I'll click on camera and let's choose QR code scanner. So now I will be opening up the camera. You will see a black screen. However, you can see that the content of the QR code is displayed over here. So the QR code which I injected earlier is now available to my application as a response, and I can use it. To take another example, I can also inject another image. And once it is injected, I can click on image injection, choose the camera application, take an image, or I would say capture a image, and then I can use the image that was injected earlier. So this is how I can essentially do camera-based testing. However, let's say I have use case for biometric authentication. I can do that as well by uh, just going through the normal flow, wherein it will ask you to whether you want to pass the test case or fail the test case. So you will not be able to essentially put in your thumb or do a face ID. But however, you can perform these test cases by using this option that we have over here. So whenever in your test cases there is a biometric authentication required, you will see this pop up, and you can perform your test case whether you want to pass it or fail it. So these are the different you know use cases that you can achieve with our App Life product, and it can help you essentially perform a lot of different test cases on BrowserStack platform itself on different, or I would say wide range of devices without having to purchase them. Over to you, Titus.
Thanks, Rishabh. I think now let's dive into automation side of things and see how BrowserStack can help to tackle some of the challenges you guys mentioned before. Yeah. So App Automate is our cutting edge solution for mobile application for App Automate testing. First and foremost, App Automate is a cloud-based platform designed for efficiency. It allows you to offload your testing needs to our robust public cloud infrastructure, enabling you to scale very rapidly. Speaking of scale, App Automate offers unparalleled device access. Imagine having instance access to over 20,000 real devices at your fingerprint. This extensive device coverage ensures comprehensive testing across a wide range of device and OS combination. App Automate also provides leading framework support that includes Appium, Espresso, Detox, and Flutter as well. Debugging is a crucial part of testing process. App Automate comes equipped with comprehensive debugging tool to help you identify and resolve issues quickly and efficiently. Getting started with App Automate is a breeze. We have developed an SDK that helps us get started the test suite up and running quickly. All right, let's get to the demo. Over to you, Rishabh.
All right. So as Titus mentioned, right, we have wide range of frameworks that we support as part of our App Automate platform. We support APM, Espresso, XUI test. We support integration with Flutter and All Grey as well. So uh, as part of today's demo, right, I'm going to first walk you through Espresso and XUI test integration, and then we'll move on to APM. So getting started with Espresso and XUI test is very simple. It's a simple 3-step process that you need to do to get started. So let's start with Espresso first. You first of all just need to have your APK file, and there is a test suite file that gets generated as part of the Espresso. What you need to do is you need to use our REST API to upload that application onto BrowserStack, and in return we provide you with a app URL. This is a unique hash ID that identifies the APK file that you've uploaded onto our platform. Similarly, you have to upload your test suite as well onto BrowserStack, and we will return back a unique hash ID that identifies your test suite on the BrowserStack platform. Now, to execute your test, you can choose different devices over here. So you can, you essentially need to pass in a JSON object as the body for your post request, wherein you specify the app based on the app hash ID that was previously returned and the test suite ID that was previously returned, result that was returned, along with the list of devices you want to run the test on. So as you can see, we have a lot of different devices that are available to you from which you can choose, and you can pass in all those devices that you want to pass in here. After that, you make this post request, and that's it. After that, you should be able to start seeing your builds on the BrowserStack dashboard. Similar to this, there is the integration with XUI test is pretty much the similar. You upload your application file, you upload your test suite, you choose the devices, you pass in the app and the test suite ID, and you get your build running. So that's how easy it is to integrate XUI test and Espresso with BrowserStack. However, with APM, as you might already be knowing, right, the APM has a lot of different uh, it has a bit of a setup that is required in terms of managing the driver, managing the different browsers on it, initializing the driver, and there are a lot of things that needs to be handled. However, what we have done is we have created an SDK. So what BrowserStack SDK essentially does is it takes care of managing the APM driver for you. You don't have to worry about managing the driver or running your test in parallel. So the best part of the best part of BrowserStack is that you can actually run your test in parallel. That is multiple test cases at the same time and across different platforms. So that essentially helps you to reduce the overall time that is taken to complete your test suite and get results faster. So in such cases, SDK comes into the play and it allows you to manage that APM driver very easily. You don't have to do any setup from your end. All you need to do is install the BrowserStack SDK. Currently, I'm taking an example of a C# project. So what you need to do is you need to add a package that says browserstack.testAdapter. So what I'll be doing is I have a sample project over here wherein I'll just show you this part. So there is a browser test adapter that is added over here. That is the first step. You need to run .NET build after you add this adapter. And then you run this command, which essentially creates this YAML file. This is what we call as the BrowserStack config, wherein you will be passing your username, access key, you will be passing your project name, build name. You can specify build identifiers, and to upload your application, right? You just have to either specify path to your application over here, or if at all you are interested in pre-uploading your application, we have REST API as well, which essentially allows you to upload your application beforehand. For example, you have a CI/CD that is building your application and you want to push that application onto the BrowserStack infrastructure when it is built. So you can use our REST API to just push your APK file onto the BrowserStack, and in response, we return back a hash ID. This hash ID can also be specified over here instead of the path to your APK file. Once that is done, we have different platforms. So as I mentioned, right, you can test on different platforms at the same time. So you just have to put names of the different devices you want to test on along with the OS version, and that is it. You're good to go, and the integration is done. Basically, this is all you need to do in terms of integration. You can start running your test cases. There are a couple of more capabilities as well that we allow you to put as part of the BrowserStack.yaml file, which is essentially if you want to enable network logs or you want to enable uh, profiling or any of that sort. So that is something that you can do as part of uh, this particular YAML file, right? So once you run your test, for example, in this case, I want to run my test. What I have to do is I just have to run my uh, test command. For example, in this case, I'm using .NET test, and I'm trying to run the test case, which is this one, right? Sample test. So I'm just trying to run the sample test over here by running this command, which will essentially trigger a test on BrowserStack platform across the devices that I've chosen, and I'll be able to see all the results popping up on my BrowserStack dashboard, which is here. Right. Meanwhile, the test comes up and it spins up. What I also wanted to uh, show everyone over here is that we have a SDK configurator as well. So as I mentioned, right, there are a lot of different capabilities which can be configured as part of the YAML file. You can use a BrowserStack SDK configurator to generate this YAML file for you very easily. So you can see that you can choose from devices, you can choose from different other options that we have over here, and you can create this config file very easily. Also, we have a very interesting feature. So for example, let's say that you do not want to hard code any device, as in you are okay with using any of the Samsung Galaxy devices, or if you're okay with using any Google Pixel devices. So we have options to specify regular expression as part of the device and as part of the platform version as well, which will essentially allow you to choose any of the devices from that basically matches the regular expression that you've passed in. So that is also an option that is available to you as part of the App Automate platform. So now, as you can see, the tests are running over here. And once the test completes, we can open up the particular test case and we can look at different logs that are available. First of all, on the top, you'll get all the metadata, such as the operating system, device, duration, who's the user. You'll get an end-to-end video log of the session, along with all the input capabilities that were passed as part of the session. You will be able to see different steps. So as part of APM, essentially, there are different commands that are executed as part of your test. For example, finding an element, clicking on an element, scrolling, all of these commands that were received from your machine onto BrowserStack are visible to you as part of the text logs over here. So you can see all those commands, and this is very helpful in terms of debugging. Let's also look at the video over here. So as you can see, whatever was as part of the test case, right? You can see the entire video of that. And if at all something fails, then you'll be able to debug that right over here using this video. Okay, this is something that failed. I need to go back to the developers or I need to go back to the team and look into it. So that's how easy it is to use our video log feature as well. We also support network logs, so you can take a look at end-to-end details of what were the network requests made. We support app profiling. So in App Live, as you saw, right, we had the memory utilization, CPU utilization. You can take a look at app profiling as well. We have support for APM logs. So all the APM logs that are generated, you can have a look at them over here. You can download them. All these logs are essentially downloadable. And we also have device logs. So if at all there were any exceptions that were thrown within the device, or there were any crashes that happened and were logged as part of the device logs, you will be able to see them as well inside of the device logs. With that, I'll move on to a couple of very interesting features. As part of the app live, we saw, right, that there is a possibility to mock the GPS location. It is available as part of our App Automate platform as well. So we have an capability over here that is GPS location. You can pass in the coordinates of the GPS location, such as latitude and longitude, to mock that particular GPS location. And here's an example that is given. We also have IP geolocation as part of App Automate as well. So we have a huge range of countries that we support. what you need to do is essentially just pass in the uh, 2-character code for that particular location. For example, we have Albania, so AL. We also have a couple of different states, so you can pass in like states as well. For example, Arizona, California. So there are different states as well which you can pass in as part of the geolocation feature that we have. Then coming on to the camera, as we saw as part of AppLive, right? We have camera injection over here as well. It's very easy to do it as part of automation as well. So essentially, whenever your application opens up a camera, before opening up the camera application, what you need to do is you just need to basically run the following command, following JavaScript, right? So that is it that you need to do, and there are a couple of arguments. So one of the arguments that you see as part of this JavaScript is media URL. So this media, as we saw in AppLive, was supposed to be uploaded onto BrowserStack platform beforehand. That is the exact same case for App Automate as well. We have a REST API over here, which allows you to upload the media file beforehand and which provides you with a hash ID. This hash ID is something that you can pass in over here for image injection. And that is it. That is how easy it is to do testing that is related to camera, such as QR code scanning or, getting some information from an image that you have. So all those use cases can be covered with our camera injection feature. We also support biometric authentication. You need to just pass in enable biometric true in your BrowserStack.yaml file. And after that, whenever a biometric step comes as part of your automation, you will see an alert box popping up. And to be able to either pass or fail this, again, you need to just execute a JavaScript as given as an example over here, and you can pass in whether you want to pass or you want to fail this particular scenario. So for if you're working on a failure scenario, you can pass biometric match as failure. If you're working on a passing scenario, you can set the biometric match as pass, right? We also support shake gestures. So you can essentially, so for example, there are certain use cases wherein you have to perform a shake gesture and you have to verify certain things that happen or as part of the shake gesture, right? Like there are certain dialog boxes that pop up or any use case that you might have related to shake gestures. You can do that very easily. Again, a simple JavaScript executor, and that's it. You can perform this shake gesture on our BrowserStack devices. We also have support for Apple Pay. So if you have use cases for payment via Apple Pay, then it is possible to do that. We support it on a lot of devices. And all you need to do is you need to set the enable Apple Pay to true, and you have to set resign of application to false. The reason why you need to set this resign of application to false is that you require a enterprise signed IPA file. So essentially, we allow this feature using the enterprise certificate that Apple provides, and which is why you just need to pass in this capability as well. And once that is done, you can pass in all the details that are required for Apple Pay, such as like billing details, shipping details, contact information, all of that. And then you can just set the confirmation for the payment, whether you want to, perform the payment or you want it to fail. You can pass in the value as true or false over here. Lastly, we also have SIM card based use cases support as well. So we support SMS based use cases. For example, you have to verify the OTP or you have to get some details from the SMS that is sent onto the device. It is possible to do that. You need to set enable SIM equals to true in your browser.yaml file. And along with that, you can choose which region do you want to support the SIM card for, and do you want eSIM? So we support different regions, India, USA, on Android and iOS, and you can set whether you want eSIMs to be enabled or not. Once that is done, you need to run this particular JavaScript executor to get the details of the SIM card that is present on that device. So when you run this, you get a response something like that, something like this, which essentially has the phone number, region, and whether the eSIM was selected as true. And then you can utilize this particular phone number to send out an SMS or use or to receive an OTP, and then you can read the OTP from the device SMSs, and then you can perform your OTP based use cases as well. So just to summarize the App Automate platform, right? We have wide range of support for different frameworks. We have an SDK that is built for APM, which essentially makes the overall process for you to get started on BrowserStack very, very easy. It's a simple 2 to 3 step process to integrate the SDK. And then we have wide range of features that are available, which essentially unlocks a lot of use cases which you can automate when you use BrowserStack. So these are, key takeaways as part of the App Automate products demo today. You all might be thinking that, okay, there are a lot of features that are available on BrowserStack, but I'm not using the framework that is something that is supported on BrowserStack. For example, Xamarin UI, right? It's not to worry about. We have an implementation plan, which essentially allows you to, move from one framework to another in a very seamless manner. So today I'm going to talk about that particular implementation plan, which you can utilize as a blueprint to essentially move from one framework to another. So as part of this implementation framework, first of all, what you need to do is you need to categorize your test cases. You need to understand what are the different modules that are that essentially you have currently as part of your test cases. You have to categorize them as part of the with like you have to categorize them by complexity, priority, and you have to keep this data very much ready with you before you get started. And then you need to come up with an implementation strategy. So you need to decide on whether like how many sprints do you want to cover this particular migration, because it's very important to know like what is the timeline that you are looking at. So you need to come up with how many sprints do you want to have before hand, so that you can organize your migration in different iterations, right? Can you move to the next slide, please? Right. So once the first 2 steps are completed, we need to start working on the framework boilerplate. So as part of BrowserStack GitHub repository, right, we have a lot of framework boilerplates which you can utilize to get started for different frameworks that you choose and the languages that you use. So based on that, or you can feel free to create your own framework boilerplate as well, but you need to make sure that you are implementing test parallelization, reporting functionalities, and also you want to make sure that this boilerplate is well integrated with your CI/CD as well, so that you can start running it directly from your CI/CD as part of your releases, right? Once the third step is done, you need to think of all the reusable technical actions such as test assertions, how you want to fetch the data. So the test data is very important part of testing, right? So how you want to fetch this data. So you need to write functions to pull this data or to organize this data, and navigation from one page to another, or basically navigation related functionalities. So all of that is something that you need to define within your test code. And after that, you need to start writing the utility functions. So how do you want to handle the errors? Certain functions such as swiping or scrolling to a certain element, scrolling to the bottom of the application, something of that sort. So any utility function that you anticipate using or you are already using as part of your current framework, you want to start writing them in the new framework first. And once all of this is done, you go to the step number 6, which is, can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So you go to the step number 6, which is essentially migrating the test cases. So now you need to start writing your test cases as discussed as part of the step number 2, wherein we had an implementation strategy of, understanding the sprints, how many test cases do you want to move as part of the sprint. And again, the step 1 as well, right? We've categorized the test cases into different categories such as complexities or priorities. So based on that, you want to start migrating your test cases in small bits. And then you want to run these test cases along with the test cases that are already. So your previous framework, your new framework, both of these should run together as part of your releases, and you must compare the results of your new framework to the older ones, and you want to check like what is the difference. Is it the exact same? Where are we missing? What's lacking? And you need to work on that. So that is an iterative approach that you need to take as part of the migration strategy, so that you are not essentially writing all the test cases at once, and then just moving onto your CI/CD, and everything just doesn't work, or you have to go through a lot of trouble to essentially migrate your test cases. So this is an iterative approach that we essentially suggest our customers, so that the migration becomes seamless for you. Yeah. Over to you, Rajan.
Thanks a lot, Rishabh. That was indeed a valuable demo of what App Automate brings to the table. Migration to a new framework can always be tricky and filled with apprehensions, but the approach you have taken indeed is promising. And for audience, it's a tried and tested strategy. We have moved a couple of customers, specifically one of the European customers, well-known retail chain. We have recently helped them to migrate to Appium C# as well. So now, why to move to App Automate? It's a unified infrastructure to test both your web and mobile application. Our platform is robust and we have proven reliability with 99.9% uptime. As we said, like you can have access to 20,000 plus real iOS and Android devices, which means that a lesser weight and more parallelization, which leads to a faster build execution. The platform also supports network simulation from 2G to 5G network plan. You can also test your mobile application in aeroplane mode and offline mode as well. Next slide, please. Yeah. So in case if your app needs to function globally, as Rishabh said, we can also cover you with IP geolocation testing. This allows you to verify your application behavior in different geographic locations as well. We also support SIM-based enablement testing. We also have OTP, SMS OTP authentication, biometric authentication as well. We also gone through the debugging support, something like kind of device console, framework logs, and video logs as well. We have an interactive debugging. This allows you to spot issues while you are testing, while your tests are still running as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we have a couple of partnership announcement here related to App Automate. We are proud to announce that we are a strategic partner with Appium. This enables us to have an enhanced Appium support with latest version, optimized execution time, and simplified setup for native app testing. This collaboration strength BrowserStack offering on platforms like App Automate, App Percy, and App Accessibility for comprehensive app testing. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as I previously mentioned in the initial phase, Microsoft is retiring their App Center, and Microsoft has also identified us as a partner to go to transition to App Automate from App Center. Before we go to the Q&A session, we have a bonus section here. We want to talk a bit about how you can elevate your test debugging using two of our new products. One is Quality Dashboard, and the other one is Test Observability. Quality Dashboard is a one-stop executive view for tracking key software delivery metrics with a quality focus. As a part of this dashboard, you get a clear visibility into quality automation, coverage, and velocity metrics. The dashboard allows you to seamlessly integrate with your SDLC tools like Jira, TestTrail, GitHub Actions, and many more. There are tons of customization and features that will eventually help you to ace your software quality vision. I think Rohan will share a link where you can try out this product now. Yeah, thanks, Rohan. Another product in our portfolio is Test Observability, which helps you verify your test, runs dramatically fast. It has some really cool features like rule-based tagging, AI-based automatic test failure detection, and many more. This will eventually help you debug faster while bringing down your verification costs.
With that, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you everyone for your questions. I know we haven't been able to take all of them, but we promise in case you have any further questions, you can reach out to us at contact@browserstack.com. Thank you. Thanks all.